Hey guys, this is Josh 8 Loop, and I wanted to just kind of touch base with a couple of you guys and just kind of show you what I've been doing. I'm going to do a fluid flush and a pilot bushing and also filter replacement and do some general cleaning on my wife's 2005 E320 CDI on the 722.6 transmission that's in. It's a 5-speed. And of course, in front of you is the valve body. But before we go, talk about the valve body, let me go ahead and show you what I saw in the pan and some of the fluid. Here's the pan that I drained some of the fluid into. Those large deals to the upper left, the black ones, those are actually a couple bugs that flew into this. But if you can notice, there's a few specks that kind of glimmer in the light. They're fairly small, and nothing huge on those anyway. And that's what we have there. And you can kind of see on the upper portion there as well. Looks like there might be possibly a small amount of copper or brass. And while I'm showing you fluid and the sediment and so forth, here's the filter. I went ahead and pulled it apart, and you can kind of see those fine, really thin aluminum flakes that are in there. And the transmission has 108,000 miles on it, and yeah, that's what was in there. And also you can see, of course, right there's some debris as well, and those are larger, surprisingly large chunks. Actually, they're kind of gritty when you feel them, so I'm really glad that filter was taking those out. That's kind of concerning. The transmission, like I said, has 108,000 miles on it, and the previous owner had taken it in at 41,000 miles for a 2 to 3 upshift issue at Mercedes-Benz in Cary, North Carolina, I believe. And it was unclear from the service records really what was done to rectify that situation. I do know the customer also brought it in at 71,000 miles, or maybe it was 78,000 miles, to have a fluid flush. And they also replaced the pilot bushing as well at that time, and I'm not sure if they dropped the pan to do the filter or not. I mean, if this is accumulated in 108,000 miles, I would be less concerned. But if this has only been, from 78,000 miles and now it's at 108,000 miles, then I would be a lot more concerned about the amount of debris in this oil. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and document this, and I'll post it on Ben's World and just see what you guys, what your impressions are on the content, mainly of the oil, and of course what was on the filter, as you can see there. So I will go ahead and post this, and we'll get some dialogue going. I did notice it does look like this particular conductor plate is the updated version, since it has the plastic material here covering those electrodes, which tend to help stabilize that dimensionally, so it doesn't allow it to flop around and break electrical connection like it did before. The plan here, obviously, getting new fluid. I'm going to go ahead and drain the fluid from the front transmission oil cooler as well to get just about all the fluid I can. I'm going to use a method hooking the hose, disconnecting the line, putting fluid in the pan, turning on the car for 15 seconds, and flushing 3 quarts out of the tranny cooler line, shutting the engine off, refilling the transmission with another 3 quarts, and then turning the car on back and forth until I have, red fluid come out of the tube. So that was a method that was mentioned that seems to be pretty effective. Most guys are doing. So that's what I plan to do. I will also be cleaning the external portions of the valve body. There was some, and I've wiped most of it off, but there was some sludge that was on the on these portions of the valve body as well. So I want to make sure that I take and get that clean, and I am considering swapping around a couple solenoids. There's a few solenoids that are exactly the same, and I have an ATSG repair manual which has been completely invaluable. It gives ratings of the ohm values of the solenoids, so it tells you how to test them, how to make sure that they're within tolerance, and so it just gives some fantastic information. It also tells you exactly what solenoids do what, and it tells you which solenoids are the same and are interchangeable and which ones are not. So it's very, very helpful. I'd recommend picking up that. I bought that on eBay for I think $28 shipped, and it really gives you some really good insight on what you're doing and what you're getting into. And obviously it's a nice car, and I don't want to go into it and not be prepared. So I've done a lot of research online, knowing what I'm getting into, and also bought the repair manuals and took some time really studying what is on the inside and how this works. So if I can get some insight from you guys on the specs and the flex and the fluid, and go from there. Hopefully I can get this thing set up so that it'll give us another 100,000 miles of trouble-free service. That would be the goal. This car needs to last a long time. I think the engine is great. I know it's great. It's a very good quality. So now we just need to ensure that the transmission is up to the task. Alright, thanks for the help, guys. Bye.